Good evening, I'm Henry Gray, and welcome to a special episode of 30 Minutes. Tonight, we expose the world of Canada's most dangerous underground criminal network. The criminal enterprise has been popping up in cities all across North America, popularizing what local gangs are calling thumbing, accused of money laundering, illegal gambling in the millions, and dangerous life-threatening injuries. What regular people are doing, they're being forced to do the extraordinary just for a chance at a better life and to find a way out. But the rumored violence is far too much for any major league to get involved. Tonight, on 30 Minutes, we take you into the underground world of thumbing, where we hope to shed some light on the most dangerous sport you've never heard of. This will be dangerous, so please be forewarned that the violence you're about to see is not suitable for younger audiences. So please, viewer discretion is highly advised. Welcome to 30 Minutes, the underground world of thumbing. The air is heavy with anticipation as I make my way to the police station in the morning. The officer I'm about to meet isn't just chasing some small-time petty gamblers or criminals. He's unraveling a tangled web of an underground empire, a world where fortunes are made, but lives are broken all over a simple battle fought with just two thumbs. The deeper I dig, the more it becomes clear that this isn't just some game. It's a high-stakes operation fueled by secrecy, danger, and power. And for the first time, it seems law enforcement is close on getting in. We're heading to the special investigator, Detective Jake Clouseau's office, who's the lead detective on today's case.
Mr. Gray, thank you for stopping by.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Detective Clouseau. I'd just like to start things off with one quick question for you, just to make sure we're comfortable with everything happening today. How do you feel about us recording this interview?
Well, absolutely. You're more than welcome to record. I think it's great that you're here, and I think it's about time we shed some light on such a serious issue.
I've prepared a few questions, and I'd like to start with how big you think the scale of this operation is really going on.
Well, I'd have to tell you, Henry, I believe at this point in time that thumbing has gone global. This is an issue I believe is primarily in North America, but I've been in contact with global partners, and I think thumbing has become the next epidemic.
Wow. What makes investigating this particular case so difficult for you and your team?
Well, I'd have to say the scale. Frankly, we don't have the investigators needed to break up this type of ring. You know, when I go down and we finally catch a group of individuals responsible for ringing a community, we see online that these young people have popped right back up in another neighborhood, and they're doing the same thing, taking the same risks, and it's impacting lives. And that for me, Henry, is ultimately why I do this job. Is I can't stand to see injustices like this go unchecked in my own community.
Well, what's the reason for closing down the rings anyways? What's kind of the major laws or regulations that these rings are exploiting?
Well, you know, I appreciate the question, but are you serious? Like the scale in what we're dealing with is the likes of which you've never seen. Like the gambling, completely unregulated, illegal. That right there, a major crime. But that doesn't even touch the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these young people. They don't have a choice. They can't get out. So what they're doing is committing assaults on a weekly basis for money. And they're being used. And if I go in to a local hospital on a Friday night, the emergency room is full. And you know what it is? ice packs on the hand because they got torn ligaments, they got broken thumbs, and you're not even going to believe this. Last week, we had a kid, thumb torn clean off, had to get it amputated. You know, that's something he's going to have to live with the rest of his life. These kids, they're sticking their thumbs in the wrong places.
How can we communicate to the community to combat thumbing for maybe parents who know their kids are going out and doing these activities? How do we know if it's been infiltrated for families or for parents?
So if you're a parent and you see your son or daughter come home with ice pack on the wrist, now you better be
It's
asking,
a symbol.
Where did you come from? You see grip strengtheners in their bedroom?
Yeah.
Nobody needs to have that kind of grip.
Not
Unless you're doing something you shouldn't be.
One final question for you then. Who could we say was responsible, and who's the person behind all of this?
Well, Henry, it's a complicated question. We believe, based on our intel from federal and even global partners, that the name Phantom seems to be a common thread across the investigation. We don't know what it is, who it is, or how it is, but every time we get close and we pick up one of these ringleaders, they just say Phantom or El Fantine, but we can't figure out if that's a code word, but it's something that they're using. And so I can't reveal the rest of our investigation as it is ongoing, but that's the best I can tell you. That if you or anyone out there knows the meaning behind Phantom, please contact your local law enforcement and they'll put us in touch with the special investigators and we'll be happy to take the case.
The Phantom. Well, thank you so much, investigator. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for letting us use your time.
Of course, Mr. Gray, I'm honored to be a part of your special little interview here, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to help you out.
Thank you very much.
Coming up on
30
Minutes.
I don't think you understand how dangerous this event's gonna be. I'm willing to do it because I've been hurt and I've seen so many other people get hurt.
Well, that's not enough time.
You just wasted 2 seconds.
So did you.
We have so many cool, diverse people from different backgrounds and different beliefs and different upbringings, and it just keeps growing.
If someone's missing, this is the guy you want looking for him.
The ghosts are back.
Did we ever really leave?
If Thor could leave, Thor would be a big game, even though Vikings rarely invited.
You guys see the mountain?
Doing it wrong!
Yeah, put it down! Hey, grab that
Dad, can we do it again next weekend?
Sure.
The new Tiguan for all life's journeys.
Volkswagen.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Now.
A Peloton? Give it up for our first time ride.
All right, first ride. I'm a little nervous, but excited. Let's do this. 5 days in a row. You surprised? I am.
6 a.m. Yay.
Rising with the sun.
That was totally worth it.
Let's go, Grace Boston. 50 rides.
She just said my name. A year ago, I didn't realize how much this would change me. Thank you.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Feeling a little nervous about here we're going to approach things. Make sure he's not following us.
I think it's important for you to be aware that I'm going to keep my weapon out at all times.
So we've just pulled out of the parking lot at the studio, and things are starting to get really serious here because the conversation we had with Inspector Clouseau gave us a few people to try and contact, but only one gotten back with us. But we still don't quite know who he is, and we're heading there right now. This is when the nerves start to really grow for these kind of investigations, and this is why people like me, investigative journalists, get such a good rep from the public because of the dangerous things we do. It's very important that we do everything we can do to keep you on the ground with us. All right, well, I guess now's better than never. So we're supposed to be meeting with a guy somewhere around here. Not sure yet. Hello there, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Henry, was it?
That's right, yeah.
Pleasure's all mine.
Pleasure to meet you. Just mind checking your microphone for me really quick?
Yeah, no problem. I haven't done anything like this before. Pardon me. Test.
It's all right. Sorry. All right. Let's just jump right into it. How did you get yourself into the world of thumbing, and what kind of led you to get here?
Well, it was a friend of mine that took me to my first fight, and once I went, I was just hooked. And then I got the call one day that there was a fighter that had been injured, and I was going to be in one of the fights. And, you know, I did that when I was still in high school. And I've had a good long career. I've been pretty successful, as you can be in a sport like this. But it's been dangerous, I'll be honest with you. I've had a few surgeries on this bad boy here, and I've definitely it's been in a splint as much as it's been out of one lately. So it's been quite the road.
Is that the thumb?
Oh, this right here is the thumb. I can't put it in a glove anymore. It's pretty swollen. And you know, for me, it's also self-defense. I don't really know you. I know I trust you. I think it's important for you to be aware that I'm going to keep my weapon out at all times.
Okay, understood. So this is going to be dangerous. I think we've covered that. How dangerous do you think you're putting yourself in? How much danger are you putting yourself in, and how much am I going to be in going into these events?
I don't think you understand how dangerous this event's going to be. I think I'm taking a huge risk here, even speaking to you like this, but I'm willing to do it because I've been hurt and I've seen so many other people get hurt, and I don't want to see that anymore. I think it's gone too far for too long, and it's just, I want to try to make a difference, but in order to do that, I have to do what I do best, and that's thumb.
Well, thanks so much. I mean, I don't even know what to call you. Your name?
Well, when I'm in the ring, when the bright lights are on, they call me Thumbzilla.
Feeling a little nervous about we're going to approach things, but we've just got to stay strong in these situations. And as an investigative journalist, I know that I hold myself to such a high regard, so does the public. So it's just important that make sure he's not following us. It's just important that that we remain secret, we remain in a good spot.
Mr. Gray?
Thank you. Well, now it's time to get back to a safe space. We'll go back to the studio and really start to put some stuff together.
Coming up on
30
minutes.
You don't know my name, you should be on the film.
Heavenly hand cream.
Heavenly hand cream? My hands get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief of dry, cracked hands. Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my hands back.
We think you would really shine in the Aflac program.
Aflac.
Coach Saban, we have health insurance.
Did health insurance pay for everything?
No. We still have bills.
Aflac gives you money directly to help with those.
Aflac.
And your deductibles, knee brace, whatever you choose.
Aflac sounds like a winner.
We try.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at Aflac.com.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Near at last on the ground, you in mid-air, sent in the clouds. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing all that I wanted was yours. Making my entrance again with my usual flair. Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here.
These hands cook for 30 people, 3 meals a day. I can't stop when I have dry hands. I trust O'Keeffe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
If it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
Welcome to the underground flights tonight. Tonight marks the day of money being made. Action in the house. And most of all, dreams being made in this ring.
Heavy.
I'm
here with Thumbzilla. He's an old friend.
Thumbzilla?
Yeah.
How do you know?
He's we go way back. Back a long time, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, how do you avoid all the fuzz?
Avoid the what?
The fuzz. The
the fuzz.
Yeah.
Obviously in an undisclosed location. There's people here. You kind of want to stay. They don't want to do it.
How much money are you making? How much money are they making? Are you making under here?
Well, I mean, if you look at the door, it's a unit. It's 50. So, me personally, I'm taking half of that. And then the fighters get a little bit, and the rest of the people kind of get their winnings. You know, it's what happens.
And is this kind of the regular crew? Or get more people in?
You know what? Usually this is the regular. I have some normals. I have some guys that show face every once in a while. This is the normal crew.
What's your name? What's your story?
Excuse me?
What's your story?
Back away. You don't know my name?
I know it's.
If you don't know my name, you shouldn't be.
Well, I was invited.
I'm the Phantom. You understand?
You're the Phantom.
Get the pump in that easy. Come on now. Get the pump position. Let's go. T.O.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Luck. Umzilla.
The underdog.
Let's go.
Coach it. Just made a lot of good people some good money tonight.
Thank you.
Good work. Before we all leave, let's do the standard procedure, our send-off as thumb fighting advocates. 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war! Break!
Coming up on
30
minutes.
I speak with the head of Big Wrestling.
At Viking, we are proud to have been named the world's #1 for both rivers and oceans by Travel and Leisure as well as Condé Nast Traveler. But it is now time for us to work even harder, searching for meaningful experiences and new adventures for you to embark upon. They say when you reach the top, there's only one way to go. We say that way is onwards.
Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
Check-in time is 3.
It's 2:55.
I know.
Is this what he's doing now?
Have a seat. As your host, I have some rules. First, no showers longer than 5 minutes. This isn't a spa. There's no streaming, only cable television.
Any games for the kids?
No games, no fun. The kids aren't even allowed in the house. That's the rule. There's a great barbecue outside, but don't touch that. How'd you guys get inside? 2 flush maximum per bathroom visit.
Yes, Coach.
You guys got about 10 minutes because this is daddy time in the tub.
Meanwhile, at a Verbo, when other vacation rentals make you share your turf with a host, try one you have all to yourself.
Remodeling your bath. There's fact and there's fiction. Fiction, it's too expensive to remodel your bath. Fact, with Bathfitter's tub-over-tub process and hundreds of design options, you'll get the bath you want to fit your budget. Fiction, bath remodels take forever and tear the house apart. Fact, Bathfitter installation takes just 1 day to fit your schedule. Get the bath that fits you. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Now, Dan, I'd like to jump straight into this. Obviously, you've heard of thumbing and everything with that, but kind of why haven't you been interested maybe, or where's this kind of interest coming from you, if there is any?
Well, we don't want to touch it. There is too much chaos. There is nothing tangible to build on. There's no foundation. There are no assets to this entire realm of a criminal enterprise. The investment for us or anybody else to take a look at it and build up, because there's not even a foundation to build from. You'd have to completely remove everything that's involved currently and then build new, and it's not viable.
Well, if building new might be the issue and money related in that, don't you think there's so much?
Well, the money's not the issue. Money's not the issue, Mr. Gray. What the issue is the criminal enterprises involved. We've got plenty. It's all dirty. We don't want to touch it. There's too much behind the scenes to even consider the amount of money viable.
So what's the big difference here? If you're looking at something like power slapping, which your company endorses so much, How is that different from thumb wrestling or anything of this variety? Tic-tac-toe, anything?
I think it's a bit naive to compare, a beautiful combat sport with integrity like power slap to a barbaric world of these thumbers. All right, it's not something that corporate sponsors want to touch, and that's what it's about. Sponsorship is the lifeblood of everything that happens, not just in sports but in the world. And there's not a soul in the universe that will touch this.
Are you ever worried or thinking about the fact that maybe your kind of company is what's encouraging these younger people to get involved in these and start betting on these, just because there's not a way in easily to what you are in charge?
There are plenty of ways. We support foundations across not just North America here, where it is extremely a thumbing crisis, but across the world. There are ways to climb the ladder in all sorts of fight networks, from the very popular UFC to the newer niche power slap. There are circuits. There is no such circuit to put into a world of thumbing that would make it legit, because it's still the criminal enterprise that's entangled with the entire sport.
It began with a simple premise: an investigation into a sport that at first glance just seemed almost absurd. Thumb wrestling is a childhood pastime reduced to nothing more than a game played in schoolyards and living rooms. And yet beneath that surface, we uncovered a world of calculated risk, unchecked ambition, and of consequences far greater than anyone might expect. We sat down with law enforcement to start, those who were tasked with dismantling this very operation that seems to thrive in the shadows. They painted a picture of a criminal enterprise with high-stakes gambling, brutal injuries, and a network designed to exploit rather than entertain. Their message was clear: this is no game, but an industry built on risk, deception, and the pursuit of a relentless power. Then there was the fight themselves. We watched as the competitions squared off. All their livelihoods, and in some cases their very future, were hanging on just the outcome of a single thumb. It was a raw, violent, and far from sanitized image of thumb wrestling that most of us have come to know so well. For many, these matches were not just about victory, but about survival, a gain of financial security in a world that offers them little else. And for us, the observers, there was no denying that the sheer intensity of what unfolded in front of us before our eyes. But the risks were not only for those inside the ring. As our cameras rolled, the illusion of detachment quickly shattered. At one point, we nearly found ourselves on the wrong end of the network's attention, our hidden cameras dangerously close to being exposed. In that moment, we were no longer reporters. We were intruders in a world that does not welcome us. Finally, we spoke with the man at the center of it all, the kingpin, the architect, the one who holds the strings. He spoke not of crime, but of tradition, not of corruption, but of opportunity. To him, this is no underground operation. It was an art form, a proving ground, a spectacle for those who understood its allure. His words were smooth, yet unapologetic. They left us with a lingering question. Was he really the villain after all, or merely just a businessman? And that, perhaps, is where the answer remains elusive. For some, underground thumb wrestling is a stain on the fabric of competition, a ruthless game where injury and manipulation and exploitation reigned supreme. For others, it was the last true battleground, a place where strength, will, and risk define a champion in a way that sanctioned no sport ever could. What is undeniable that it exists, and that it's beyond the reach of regulation and beneath a watchful eye, and for those who seek to shut it down. So the question remains not whether it should be stopped, but whether it ever truly can be. They've lived among us for decades, waiting, watching, and planning. They've walked our streets, sit in our offices, served our coffees, but they are not like us.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked.
Next time on 30 Minutes, the invasion has already begun, but the question is...